Yo, what's going on, guys? We are live here. I hope you are able to join me. Sorry if I was late. I actually finished doing an interview at like 10:45, and I was like, I gotta do this. So I am doing this live now. So hopefully you join me, and if you did, awesome. I love you for that. But very excited to get into this album. I am a big boy fan of The Burden. Most people know that. I've been riding with them for eons now at this point. And I'm always excited for their albums. I have their first couple albums on vinyl, actually, so I'm hoping to obviously scoop the up Terminal. I already have it, I already purchased it, so I'm just waiting, at this point. So very excited to get that in the mail at some point, sometime soon. I don't know when. Do not bother me. I have no idea what's going on. Listen, Rob, I don't need you to roast me here, all right? You guys already roasted me enough in the chat. I'm gonna cry, man. But I am very excited. I love The Burden so much, despite them just absolutely obliterating me in the chat for being late and not reviewing this at 10 o'clock Eastern time. So I'm here a whole hour late, but nonetheless, we're here. So that's the important thing. But I've been very excited about this album for a long time. They have been teasing me to absolute death. And I can finally listen to the whole thing, so really cool. Also, you should check out Rachel Reacts review. I love Rachel. She's awesome, and she does some really great content as well, far arguably better than mine. So please go give her some love and go check out that review. She did a great job. I didn't watch it because obviously I can't spoil myself with these songs, but I want to give her a salute. So she's great. So big salutes to Rachel. But anyway, we're going to get into the album Terminal. I hope you're as excited as I am. And let me know in the comments or in the live chat what your favorite songs are off Terminal. Some of the Burden guys might be in the chat right now. So what I'm saying. So they might be able to give me a little bit more fun stuff about the album and going into that process. And, make sure to let them know that you want them back on the channel so we can talk about their new album, cough, cough, excuse me. So anyway, we are going to get into the first song off the album as well. This one is called Stardust Oblivion. The only songs that I have personally listened to is Deathbed Daydream and Losing Your Exterior. So I have not listened to Lightbulb Mouth Treasure featuring Charles Fernie of the band Secret and Whisper. So very excited to get into the whole thing, but those are the three singles that are out. So there you go, very exciting. But let's get into Stardust Oblivion right now. So give it a listen. Oh, all right. Oh my God, what the hell is on with Jake, man? This chorus is tight. Oh yeah! was that? What was that? What was that? What was that? Oh my god. I really did wonder how you were gonna follow this. I was really wondering how you were gonna like absolutely just crush this release, man. Jesus Christ, man. Oh, that was so good. Guys, if you're just tuning in, that was The Burden's first song off their new album, Terminal. You can go check it out now. I'll make sure to put all the links in the description, but whoo, man, you know, I don't think they could have started it off with a better song, if I'm going to be honest. Like, I want to preface that I absolutely loved Sinking Feeling. That I think that album is arguably, to me, one of the best representations of modern, like, post-hardcore music. I know I had mentioned in a previous album review of theirs was that I felt like they really took up the mantle of what I felt like Underoath was going to do post Lost in the Sound Separation. I still feel like that statement is 100% true. And I still think that that is a phenomenal record. However, this fucking song is nuts. It's so good. It starts off the album in such an energetic way. Right out the gate, got so much energy. If you don't know the band, and this is literally the first song you click on in the album, goated song. I just want to say, one of the best songs I think you can listen to get you an idea of how The Burden has been creating music. And I would highly recommend, if you watch this and you didn't know they released an album before this, I would highly recommend checking out Sinking Feeling. It is such a great album, and I still listen to that so frequently, and I imagine that I will be going back and listening to this album a ton already. But I think it just, like, you know, I always talk about how crucial it is to have songs in such a distinct way on the album, and I think this is the perfect start to an album. Aggression, the lows that Jake brought in this song, holy shit, insane. And just like the guitar writing, the drumming, the bass playing, like all of it collectively comes into this like just beautiful package that I don't even know. It's just really hard to explain, but it's got all of that energy that you know and love. And I think this one, I gotta say, this one I feel like would pop off live, if I'm gonna be honest. So I love this. This is a great song to start the album off with. Rob said that, oh, I didn't read Ross's comment. I should read that. Jake and I are here while we're painting his nursery. Well, also congrats to, Jake and his wife on their new kid. Very excited. Also shouts to Rob's new kid and his wife as well, too. Everybody's just having kids. Salutes to kids. And then Rob also comments, says, Stardust was the right choice for the first song, and that last breakdown caught everyone off guard. Bro, that, I love that. I think he just crushed it. Rob says as well, Jake channeling his inner Ollie Sykes for those lulls. I don't know, man. I mean, I would agree with that, but I even feel like, I don't know, I feel like he's even pulling from different, I feel like he's also pulling from different kinds of like heavier music, and I just love the progression of this band, because like I said, I didn't know how they were gonna follow up with Sinking Feeling. I know that I mentioned just before this that I go back and listen to it often, but I probably listen to it like maybe once or twice a month, and I have been since they've released the album, just because I think it's got such a great energy to it, and I think that it's very akin to some of the bands that are coming out now, like Static Dress is another really great example of that, just quintessential like post-hardcore sound. It's like unadulterated, just great aggressive sound that you just love, it's everything that I find nostalgic about post-hardcore, and I think that they encapsulate that so well, with also remaining very original. I think that they just have a way of kind of crafting some of these songs, and just this one's just a heater track to start off the album with. This one's gonna be very hard to beat for me, I think, thus far. I really loved Losing Your Exterior, so that might also be on that list of favorites. I'll go through my favorites at the end of this, but I would definitely Stardust Oblivion just upon literally first listen. I love this one. This one's a great one, and I'm excited to go back into it. But we're going to move it on to track 2, which is Deathbed Daydream. This is the first single that was released. I did a reaction video to this one, as well as Losing Your Exterior. I'll leave links below to go watch those after the fact. So if you're watching this live, they're not going to be there. But if you're watching this after, they will be there. So make sure to check back. But yeah, very excited to re-listen to this one. I haven't listened to both Deathbed Daydream as well as Losing Your Exterior since I did those reaction videos. So it's gonna be a nice, it's gonna be a nice reunion. So I'm excited to listen to it again. But yeah, let's get into the Deathbed Daydream right now. That's a spicy meatball. This is such a good one.
Our little souvenirs of these moments left in suspense. Much more than words ever meant.
That big scream by Jake. Oh. Oh, man. Two hard songs off the bat, man. I don't know if my cardio is really going to be able to go, like... I really got to be working on my cardio, man. I'm telling you what. Guys, if you're just tuning in, this was track 2 called Deathbed Daydream off of The Burden's new album, Terminal. You can go pick it up everywhere. It's Spotify, Apple Music, all of that sort of stuff. It's on all the streaming platforms. You can go pick it up on Bandcamp. If you're a vinyl fiend like me, there's 2 variants out right now. They have a ton of merch. Please go support these guys. I genuinely, this is not a shill by any stretch, but I have been following these guys and having them on and interviewing them for, I wouldn't say like at least 4 or 5 years now, and they just keep getting better. I know I said that in Stardust Oblivion, but I genuinely mean that, and I'll double down on it because I just genuinely love what they're doing. They really have a way of creating this just like atmosphere within their music, you know. They have like just this aggressive punch that you just love, but I also feel like they find such a way of having those just big choruses that you can sing along to and just really, you know, immerse yourself in what Jake's singing about. And to me, it's just kind of like, it's kind of to me like I always find a lack of words when I'm talking about The Burden, because they really just kind of just hit that nostalgia chord for me. They've always been that band that ever since I found out about them, like they really to me just hit that chord for me that I find that a lot of bands, I don't want to say have a necessarily difficulty of hitting, but this band will always be somebody I'll always ride and die for, because I think that they have such a genuineness to create music that is really deep to them. And like, you know, upon like the first listen, it's a little bit hard to really immerse yourself into an album, but I know for a fact I'll be listening to this album a lot. And that might kind of, again, might ruin the experience. I hope not for most people, but I do really love the way that they kind of have this way of writing music that just hits you in the soul, and then have the musicality to back that sort of depth up with, you know. Like a lot of the times you have those songs that are like, oh yeah, this one's lyrically heavy, like this one definitely sits heavy on me. And then you have songs that are like musically heavy and you're like, oh god, like that hits me in the chest, right in the chest, you know. And I think that The Burden find a unique way of not only hitting you like musically in the chest with like some like nice sick breakdowns and just like some really nasty lows, but I also feel like they have a way of hitting your soul in that sort of way. Like I think I did mention it in Losing Your Exterior. I absolutely loved 2793, which it was off of Sinking Feeling, and how stripped away it was, you know, and just how vulnerable it is. And I think that they have a way of kind of, again, having that sort of vulnerability within their music, but then kind of cutting it with some, like, really, like, again, aggressive screams. I know this album, from what I have read about it thus far, has been kind of, like, a really tough, topical album that I feel like, you know, is just like something that that is hard to find, I think, within bands, you know. The only other band that I think really has struck me recently was the new Prada album. I feel like that one, like, I'll not be afraid to admit that I was definitely feeling the emotions of that album. And I think that with this album thus far, I'm gonna cry probably at the end of this album, not gonna lie. But I think for me, it's like their way of immersion is not only by the musicality, but also lyrically. And I think that is a big component of why this band sticks around in my catalog of music, but also like my circulation of music, is because they're so relevant in that way, but also like really kind of hit me on the musical aspect of things, and you can't expect much more than that. So I'm very stoked to get into this album, and I hope that, again, you go check The Burden out, because they've been an underrated band in my mind, and I'm just so glad that they're finally signed, and I'm glad that they're doing better. So I hope that we can really help out these first week sales for these boys, because I love them. They're great. They're great people, and despite them absolutely dunking on me in our group chat, I still love them nonetheless. Not to call you guys out, I just thought it was funny. I'm not that insensitive. But I went on a complete tangent. I shouldn't have done that, but I wanted to speak my mind a little bit. But I really enjoyed this song a lot. I think if you watched my reaction video, you already knew how I felt about this song. But I think this, comparatively to Stardust Oblivion, I think it does a better job of holding down that like kind of verse chorus sort of mentality, where, you know, you got the strong clean singing in the chorus, and then you have some really great like guitar riffs going on within the verses and stuff. So I really feel like so I really feel like they find a good mix of balancing out the sort of, again, melodic nature of the choruses, but also having some like aggressive punch that really keeps the song interesting. So I'd argue this is probably one of the best songs to start off with if you just are finding out about the band and you really don't know too much, but you want to kind of dip your toes in. This one's a good one. I think Losing Your Exterior is probably a good second as well. But I would definitely start off with this song because I don't think it's as aggressively heavy as Stardust Oblivion, but I think it does have some really great melodic points that if you're more into the kind of singing stuff, then you're definitely going to be vibing more with this. But love this song nonetheless. I think I'll have to listen to Vertigo Reverie to really kind of give a better idea of where it kind of sits within the album. But I'm always curious when bands release singles, how well do they fit within the context of the album. I think this one's a very good front runner because I think it's a good 50-50 split of singing and screaming, and I think it keeps you immersed very well. So do like this one a lot, but we have mucho more songs to go through, so we are going to move it into Vertigo Reverie, but I'm going to read some comments. Haste Computer says thumbs up, shout outs. Rob also says, just wait for the last song, man. Your soul will be wrecked. I'm not ready for that. You already know, Rob. And then he also says, the more we pick on some the ones we love. So I am not gonna start at the end of the last song. Come on, man. Oh, all right, fine. I'll start at the end of Deathbed Daydream. Okay. All right, here we go. Now we're going to get into Vertigo Reverie. So this is track 3. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. You do miss out on those things.
So am I still saving? Is this what it takes to feel? 'Cause I'm still trying to find out. Is it worth it? Please don't make it back tonight. Sincere and I could hope to pay tonight. Will it be worth it in the end?
Ooh, this chorus is hits. This one's tight. I love that lead guitar line. It's so high, I need a drink.
Just a second to live, receding fast, so vulnerable. You're just a second to live, it's too loud, we can't lose it all. We're all just searching for
Ooh, that double bass work from Devin. This is a clean bridge. Oh, man. Oh. heart, man. This is good. Guys, this is track 3. This is Vertigo Reverie. Oh man. This one was I would say this one's a little bit more boppier. It's got kind of more of a like bounce to it. I like that. That chorus, oh, it almost gave me kind of a little bit of like a Beartooth sort of vibe to it, just a little, just a little. Um, but I really like this one a lot. It was very fun, very riffy. I love Devin's drumming on this track. I think that's what really kind of sold me about it, was just like some of the like open parts where you could just hear him just like wail on the kit. It was just really tight, especially that last part within this sort of like transitional piece. I really enjoyed that a lot. I think they just kind of find unique ways of really integrating some just fun moments within a song. Like I really feel like they have a care to detail on how songs flow, how they fit, how do they transition well within the next song. And I always talk about in a lot of the reviews how well a band can kind of transition between like having some of those moments where like, okay, you could hear a song cut off and it just doesn't feel like fluid in that sort of way. But I've always kind of felt they've done a very good job of making each song sort of flow into each other in that way. And this very much seems like one of those albums that if you put it on, you're a part of the journey, you're a part of the ride, and it doesn't feel like there's any moment for reprieve, because it kind of has that sort of what's next, what's going to be coming next, what songs are we, what's the next song on that list, and it just kind of has a good flow to it. So I love that, and I really feel like that's what makes a good Burden album. So can't crushing it right now. I will say as well, I think this one gave more way for Jake to start kind of doing more of the clean singing a little bit. Not to say that in prior songs that he's really not doing it, but I feel like there's just more. I feel like there's more comfortability with Jake. Not that I felt like with Singing Feeling he wasn't just. He wasn't feeling the vocals, but there's just something about it that, like, there's just a little bit more, like, there's just a little bit more zhuzh. Like, that's the best way I can probably describe it. There's just something about Jake's, like, vocal talent in this album thus far that has really kind of blown me away. And I felt that with Deathbed Daydream as well as Losing Your Exterior, but vocally I feel like he's just upped his game in such a way, and I think like not only in the clean aspect of the vocals, but I also think screams, like the way that the songs are layered out a little bit better vocally. I think there's a lot more moments where, like, again, you have those really deep lows that he's really kind of brought into his arsenal, as well as that I think just the vocal like prowess of Jake has just gotten so much better. So love that for the band, because I think the songs just have this way of connecting a little bit more than like I felt like with maybe previous material. So and I didn't think that they were bad by any stretch prior to this, but I'm listening to this album and I just feel that like there's just more of a connection to it. Like it's really hard to explain. And I don't, and this isn't me just trying to show for the Burden, but I just feel like they have a way of just kind of, especially with what Jake's doing right now, I think there's just this connection point that I hope people kind of extend to, because I'm really feeling a lot of these songs and the energy of it, and I just think that the band is really just cranking on all cylinders right now. So really love that. Again, just musically got a lot of punch to it. I really like Ross's kind of low end in Vertigo Reverie. I feel like there's some moments where like the guitars kind of dip out, and there's just moments really great like low bass punch that you absolutely love. I think taking my opportunity over the quarantine to learn a little bit more about bass playing and stuff, I have just a lot more appreciation for how much the bass, especially with and I know Jake plays guitar, but I don't know if he played any guitars on this album. But I think it just adds this sort of levity in the song that you really just love, because there's just this really good boom to the songs, and it just really makes those breakdowns sink a little bit more. It makes those moments that you really want the song to have more of a wash over sort of punch to it that I think that the bass delivers on a lot of these songs. But I would say more specifically with Vertigo Reverie, it's just been absolutely crushing it right now. And then Ross said good stuff. I imagine he meant earlier for the transition, which I'll probably do again for the next song. But and then Rob said song transitions are probably our favorite part of making an album. So love that. Our producer is a bass player, so he makes the bass production punch. I feel like, yeah, well, there is a slight bias to that, but I also feel like Ross is crushing it too. So Ross, if you're watching this, I know you crush, man. So it's good. But yeah, I love that, and I think again, all this song just kind of culminates to that sort of, again, that sort of sound that you come to, at least for me, come to know and love. So really enjoyed this one. A bit different, I would say. It's not as aggressive, like heavy wise. I feel like with Deathbed and Stardust, they've been a little bit more on the heavier side. So this one, I think, pulls it back just a little bit. It's still heavy, but I would say it's arguably less heavy, which is fine because I can definitely dig that. This is going to be moving on to track 4, which is Losing Your Exterior. So we'll just give a little extra time, and then we'll go to that song. Oh, I didn't. There we go. I forgot to say that beginning fill from Kevin. Oh.
To this slumber I will steer, avoid the stranger in the mirror, with these heavy eyes that show. Always drifting, weight is lifting slow. All these things we hide, so no one ever knows. So how much will it take before the bad becomes the break? I just wanna be remembered. Counting sheep just to fall asleep again. So what will it take in the end? Wait, just another second, another day.
The instrumentals on this track
Was
are
it
rock.
always just so hard to find, or did you keep me in your lonely mind? Hey, just another second, another day. So was it always just so hard to find these steps that we meet every time? So how much will it take before the bad becomes the break? I just wanna be remembered. Counting sheep just to fall asleep again. So what will it take in the end? This desperate shaking of a night like your life. Will it worth me to think when the wrong way at last? It's all you know. We're better off proving intentions when pain's gone. Who will decide the day? This desperate shaking held and turned
Oh, this is hard. Fucking rip. Oh my god. I can, man. I'll tell you what. Oh man. This one was a great single. I'll tell you what. In hindsight. But anyway, we're gonna move this. I'm not even gonna move on. We didn't even talk about this song, so I gotta talk about it. This was track 4, "Losing Your Exterior." This was the other single that I had listened to, but I love this song. I think obviously I loved it back then. I still love it now. So nothing's changed there. I think I enjoyed that much more. Like, being able to kind of marinate on some of these songs has just been nice. But I just think this one, I think this has some of the best moments of the album thus far. It's got a lot of great open bass parts, parts where you can hear a lot of some of the really great bass moments throughout this album. I think that this song does a really great job of kind of opening up some of those moments. I will also say Devin goes absolutely ham on this track. I feel like I mentioned it, but man, he absolutely crushed it on this track. I just think there's just a lot of moments for him to just kind of express himself and just allow some of those fills to just come out, and they were just chef's kiss. We love them. But I appreciate this song. I think even comparatively to some of the other songs that I've listened to thus far on this album, I think this one has had the most clean singing, which has been pretty interesting to listen to, and still, again, keeping it fresh, keeping it interesting. I love the sort of minor tonality of this song. I kind of found it akin to, as I mentioned in the reaction video that I did previously, just kind of reminds me a lot of old school Pierce the Veil sort of stuff. It just has that kind of emo tinge that you love, and I know that over the years, they have told me about their love of emo music, and some of the greats like The Used, My Chem, and you can hear some of those moments in not only the way that Jake sings, but also some of the guitar work from both Jake and Rob as well. You got to hear some really cool moments of that, and I think that is what I really enjoyed about some of these songs that I've listened to already, is just hearing some of those moments that I don't feel like I got to pick out as much just because it was upon a first listen, and this is my second time around giving it a little bit more of a thorough comb through. But I like this one a lot. I think that, again, Devin shines the most in this song, I'd argue. It's just a fun song. I don't know what to say. I don't think there's really much else I can say about it. It's just a really good, well-written, well-crafted song, and you can just tell the attention to detail within it. So, absolutely love this one. Ross says Jake and Rob did both guitar, so that's awesome. Love it. And Rob said, bass is so underrated. I love that we have some parts for the bass to shine in this album. I also 10 out of 10 agree with that. Ross crushes it at bass, so love hearing that low end, baby. It's awesome. But yeah, Losing Your Exterior, great single. And I think comparatively now looking back, I think they both did a very fair job of really kind of giving you an idea of what the album is. I think sometimes single picking is a little bit polarizing, but I do feel like they did a very good job of giving you kind of a good gambit of how the album sounds and how it's going to be going. So some of these, actually all of these other songs I have not listened to yet, so we are really getting into the thick of all of it. So very excited to get into it. We are going to move it on to track number 5, which is Sparkle Motion. So let's give it a listen. sick.
It's not about the things we should have said. No matter what it is, we'll get there eventually.
What was that? All right, guys. If you're just tuning in, this is track 5, Sparkle Motion. That's all I gotta say. That's it. This was the most chaotic of songs that I think I've heard from the Burden thus far. Jared, my buddy, salutes, love him. Go check out Cross Oceans out. He said this sounds like the screamer from Oh Sleeper, like giving me heavy vibes of 2011 Oh Sleeper. And then my boy Rob, he said, man, I'm a huge fan of Oh Sleeper. You must have got us figured out. And then Jared also said, this is like 2011 metalcore mixed with Seosin mixed with ZGG. What a combo first. That's awesome. All that to say, I need to work with this producer. I believe the producer was I think it's Charles Fernay who's in the band Secret and Whisper, I'm pretty sure. But I'll double check. Let me make sure I'm on their Bandcamp. Oh, Jordan Chase. Yeah. Sorry. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, Jordan Chase salutes. He's awesome. And my boy Colton. I love Colton. My man. Salutes. He's great. Big salutes. I don't know why I said Charles Vernay is gonna be a feature. Ooh, sorry, spoiler alert. It's on here actually, so never mind. I didn't spoil it for any of you guys. But let me get back into the song because I think it's great. But I do like that comment of Jared. You should really check this band out. They're awesome. I mean, obviously you're here, so you're checking them out, which is great. But this song was. They both. I kind of figured they both were in Secret and Whisper, but I wasn't 100% sure. But this one was probably the most creative of the songs thus far. Just like really out of the box, kind of just like wild shit going on. I really feel like they have a way of, again, keeping the listening experience very interesting. I just love the sort of usage of some of the, like, just the stopping, like, again, very poignant statement from Jared saying, like, it kind of has a little bit of a mathcore feel to it. I guess metalcore. I don't know why I said mathcore, but it does have this kind of, like, stopping way of, like, the way that they introduce some of the, like, breakdowns and some of, like, the cool, unique, like, rhythmic patterns from the guitars. I just think that they crush it. There's something about it that keeps it fun and keeps it interesting. I know, again, they're huge fans of, like, Seosin, so I feel like they pull a lot from that sort of point of thought. But I also feel like this one also has a little bit of that sort of almost like Tides of Man sort of feel, like, especially like OG stuff. It has the one that I can think of is like the Salamander and Worms, but also, like, again, it has some mathcore feel to it as well. I know they also, like, reference, like, Dillinger Escape Plan as, like, some of their music that they are listening to as well. So I think that might also, go into that sort of role of things. But I know that they're very well versed within the metalcore and, like, post-hardcore scene. The band I keep referencing, but I do feel like they have just such a synergy to them, as well as, like, a Static Dress. They kind of have different elements that keep them fun, unique. But this one had just some really just fucking chaotic energy to it, and I love that because each song has been really unique, really fun, really inventive, and I've just kind of had a great time just kind of figuring out how this album's gonna go. We're about halfway through, and I think that throwing a nice little curveball in the middle of the album is awesome. So I was also gonna say Fall of Troy as well, Jared. I can't forget the GOATs, but I did feel like Tides of Man was like the one that I could think of off the top of my head. Jared also said taking a page out of Mayday Parade's book with the 11 track with track 11. Oh my god, yeah. I can't wait to fuck that one up. I'm very excited. Jared loves this. Rob says you're literally listing off our favorite bands. Big facts. Jared says if I can hear a band that mixes the best of mathcore with the best of metalcore, I think this might be the band, arguably. But yeah, I think this one was the most inventive, the most unique, the most like rhythmically interesting track. I think that's what really kind of got me hooked on this song. And I'm excited to go back to this one because I think there was some stuff that I definitely missed out on upon first listen. And I highly recommend people going back and listening to this album in full after we're done going through it. But yeah, this one was rad. I really enjoyed this one a lot. This one was fun, very unique, and definitely a standout track on the album thus far. Rob, before I move into the next track, which is Lightbulb Mouth Treasure, featuring Charles Ferney. Rob says, every time I die, new junk changed our lives. Realize you can do math breakdowns in metalcore. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I didn't really think about that as much. I would even say, like, I know Greyhaven is also kind of in that same sort of category as well, but I know they I don't know. I would love to see, like, The Burden, Greyhaven, and like Static Dress all on a tour. I think that'd be rad as fuck. So I don't know who I have to ask, but I'll do it because that sounds like a great lineup. Maybe put like at the headlining spot like Callous Dowboys or something. I don't know. That'd be kind of lit. I'd be about it. So let's get into track 6, which is Lightbulb Mouth Treasure featuring Charles Ferney of Secret and Whisper. So if you like that band, also OG band, you should check them out if you haven't. They really fucking rock. So we'll give them some love. Same, Joey. I would see them if they played the stage. No, that is not a made-up band name. Check them out. I'm dead serious. So please don't worry, I swear we're only trying to sleep. Behind the lids of your eyes are all the secrets you keep. Floating on like a ghost, coming so delicious. I'm brighter once again, I swear I'll follow through. Oh, what a sick riff. Is this Charles' part? I'm calling it. nostalgia. Oh, man, I miss this band so much. OG. If you know, you know.
She takes away all my pain and tears it apart. We said her name.
This one was good. I'll save a few seconds because I know they love a good transition. But guys, if you're just tuning in, this was track 6. This is Lightbulb Mouth Treasure featuring Charles Fernay of the band Secret and Whisper. He's also in other bands as well, but that one's obviously the most notable of them. I like this one a lot. This one was a little bit more even keel, especially after Sparkle Motion. I think it's a song that arguably is hard to follow up, but I like that this one's a little bit more based. You know, it's a little bit more, you know, a little bit less aggressive in that sort of way. I felt like Sparkle Motion was just like, again, pulling a lot from mathcore and that sort of break, especially more so in the breakdowns. But this one musically was really sound. I love the chorus of this track as well. I think that was probably the strongest point of the song itself. The guitar riffs from both Rob as well as Jake just absolutely sing on this track, which I love. I think, you know, obviously I gravitate a lot towards guitar playing, just being a guitar player myself. But I love the guitar riffs that both Jake and Rob came up with on this one. This one just really rocks. But it just is really, really sick. And then Charles just kind of, again, hit my nostalgia. I've always really loved Secret and Whisper. And it does look like he's in another band called Skateboard Dinosaur, which, gotta say, great fucking band name. So sick. But I've really kind of missed his voice. And so I haven't listened to Secret and Whisper in a long amount of time, but I've always really loved that band and really endeared them as being just such a great like post-hardcore band. But yeah, he sounds fantastic. Really love it. But I think this one was super rad. Definitely a little bit more muted comparatively to Sparkle Motion, but I think that in its own right, really nice, a really nice kind of like, just like a little bit less of a power dynamic, which I think is nice because especially after a song like that, it's very hard to just really be in a zone to listen to just something a little bit more chaotic. So it's nice to have a little bit something that's more even keel, a little bit more straightforward. So really sick. Rob says, I love hearing people say light bulb mouth treasure. Yeah, I feel like that is an ingenious song name, so I love that. And then Jared says, I could play Across Oceans for 90 years and never come up with a good track name as Lightbulb Mouth Treasure. Oh, man. Oh, and then he also said, I hear so much John Mess in those screams mixed with Sam Carter. So oh my God. All right, Rob, I'm going to do it now just for you. All right, let me Google it. Lightbulb Mouth Treasure. You said image number 7, so it better be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it a Kirby? 9th. Okay. All right. Well, it's just giving me a bunch of Kirby shit. Oh, I did light. I'm an idiot. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is it Magic Light Bulb? That's what mine came up as. Or is it are you looking at the Kirby wiki where he's a light bulb? That one's great. I like that one. That's based. Yeah. Here, wait, let me. Can I? Okay, I can't throw it. Fuck, I can't throw it up on my screen, but it'll be here in spirit. All right, so I'm just gonna. Wait. I'll do one better for Rob. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but we're gonna do it anyway. Oh my god. There we go, Rob. That's for you, baby. The Kirby. Yeah, there you go. We did it. We did it, guys. All right, that was it. That's the meme for today. We got it. The memes here, guys. All right, that's it. I'm done. that was my TikTok. Anyway, yeah, like this song a lot. It was a nice reprieve from the really kind of aggressive nature of Sparkle Motion. So really enjoyed that song. It was 10 out of 10. Nice song. But I also wish that, I don't know. I would have loved, I think the only gripe I might have about this song is that I honestly wish that maybe Charles and Jake did some like harmonies. I think that would have been really sick. I know that probably would have been a lot more times, but I really enjoyed that one a lot. So I would probably say that was the only kind of critique that I have about the song, was I wish there was a little bit more harmonies. I think that would have been really set me over the top within the song, and I think it would have made a nice kind of like duality between both Jake's voice as well as Charles's voice. So I think that to me would have been nice, but obviously hindsight's 2020, so is what it is. But we are going to move it on to track 7, which, based off of the timestamp, it kind of feels like an interlude. The song is 1 minute and 20 seconds, and I think it's called Ad Melora. I'm going to completely butcher the fuck out of this, but I'm going to say that. So let's get into it. Track 7. I love when they do these fucking interludes. So sick. You're welcome, Rob, for indulging me. That's what I'm here for. I feel like I am reviewing your band's album, to be fair. This feels like very Counterparts-esque. Like Love Me and Nothing Left to Love. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit. I'm going to leave a little bit of extra. I feel like with each one of these songs, I just got to stop it a little bit earlier than when I think I should. So, but guys, if you're just tuning in, that was track 7, Ad Melora. I'm not even going to try to pronunciate this shit. I fucking suck at this. But getting back to the song itself, it was very nice. Again, the comment I made about it being very Counterparts-esque, I think it reminds me a lot of like when they do those sort of interlude-y sort of tracks. It's just a nice reprieve. I think, again, very similarly to Lightbulb Mount Treasure, I think it offers a nice break to having some of the songs, make that sort of impact on you. And I always appreciate when bands have kind of like this palate cleanser in the middle of the album. It really breaks it up in a nice way, and it doesn't make you feel very, I can't pronunciate, man. Pronounce? I don't know. See, exactly. I don't fucking know. I don't know shit, Jared. I'll tell you what. But I do know some things about music. But anyway, it's late, man. But yeah, I think that this song to me is a really nice kind of like interlude sort of song. I think that they really make a unique way of keeping keeping the musicality of things fun, and then again just adding a little bit more texture, a little bit more layering to the album itself, and just kind of having those building blocks. And I think that this one, though there really isn't any singing on it, I think it adds this sort of like, again, layer and depth to Terminal as an album, and it makes it feel like a complete piece, you know. They very easily could have left this song out, certainly, but I like when bands add this sort of flavor into their albums. It's always nice, you know. I always comment on how well Silent Planet does it, and I think that they're definitely pulling a page out of Silent Planet in that regard. So really like that. Jared said, these guys are very fresh. I like them. Hard to get my attention since I'm typically so blind to new hardcore music. Only a few things catch my attention per year. Yeah, I think, you know, I think in a genre that is, I don't want to, I guess it kind of is oversaturated in that aspect, but I always find that bands that really stand to make a difference in the scene really try to push themselves, and I've always felt like they've executed like post-hardcore to a T, but I also feel like they've always tried to expand the boundaries of what they're able to do. And you know, I've always been a proud supporter of what these guys have been doing, and I've been a fan since, I don't even know, I think like, again, 4 or 5 years ago at the very least, maybe 6 years. I know it's been pretty long. I think they were pretty early on within my YouTube career, so I owe a lot to these guys. I know they probably don't think that much but about me in that way, but I do owe a lot to them, because they crush. So you know, anytime I have an opportunity to share my love of their stuff, then definitely gonna do it. Would highly recommend checking out their previous albums too, Presence of Past Tense and Sinking Feelings. So maybe if anybody is in here in the live chat, I will auction off my last copy of Sinking Feelings. So it's signed, so I'll go get it after this is over with, and then I'll auction it off live. So I've always been trying to figure out who to send this to, and now I have an opportunity to, since there's 5 people in the chat, and I think 3 of them are the band members, so the other 2, whoever else is in here, has an opportunity to win it. So there you go. Maybe it might be you, Jared. But yeah, I really like this one a lot. Very fun, very exciting. But I do feel like it's a nice break. It's a nice palate cleanser, and I think that makes the album, the second half of the album, just, you know, more of an easier transition. So I'm very excited to get into it. But this next song is called track number 8, and it is called Spark Notes Eulogy. So let's get into this. Will I need Spark Notes to listen to this? I don't know. We'll find out. That was clean. The panning, I like that. We do have 2 songs of Spark in it. God, what the fuck was that? Holy shit. Oh my god, what? That was so sick. Oh, holy shit, that was wild. Guys, that was track 8, Spark Notes Eulogy. I'm gonna need a eulogy for me while I'm still here. That was a very bad pun, I'm sorry. Oh man. What was that breakdown? It came out of nowhere. Oh my god, I can't. This is just when I thought Sparkle Motion couldn't be it. You know, I think it's just cuz I think it's honestly cuz you have Sparkle Motion, yeah, Spark Notes. I think if you have anything with Spark in the title, this is it. That's a secret ingredient right now. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what? Listen, Rob. I didn't say I would do it. All right, I can't. You want me to just sit here and not? You listen. I'm gonna look at you, Rob. All right, okay. You're gonna tell me I'm gonna sit here, right? And I'm not gonna make a face when you throw that breakdown in my face. No. Not even close. Not even close. So that was great. Kudos. I love it. It was awesome. Not making it. I'm gonna make all the stank faces I want because I know it's real. All right. That's my rant. No, let's get back into the song. This one was really unique. I think very similarly to why I thought Sparkle Motion was so wild. I think that this one is equally as impressive in that sort of aspect. Just again bringing that sort of math sort of aspect to just breakdowns, as Rob mentioned earlier about Every Time I Die really being an influence on that sort of just unique aspect of it. I love this sort of synthy layers they brought into this track, like for no reason whatsoever, but it just worked out super well. Love that. But I think this one is just, again, as chaotic, and I just think for me personally, it was just such a wild track, and I think that breakdown it broke me. I think I was broken. I think you broke me in that way. So kudos, guys. And I'm pretty sure the last song on the album is gonna break me too, but emotionally. So I think you are not only breaking my body, but you are also gonna break my soul. So that's impressive. It's a 2-for-1. But I really like the musicality of it. I think Jake's singing sounds really fantastic on this track. But as I mentioned in Stardust Oblivion, I think his screaming has gotten so much better. It's gotten like this sort of punch to it that I feel like some of the previous material, I wouldn't say lacked, but I do feel like there's just that attention to detail on how long that you guys have taken to kind of hone in on your musical skills and just kind of, again, put out something that is really fantastic. Because Singing Feeling came out in December of 2019, so I mean, you guys had a lot of time to work on an album, and I really feel like thus far it's just been such a great journey. And I hope that everybody watching this live has been having a good time listening to the album. But nonetheless, like, go check out The Burden because they're awesome, and I've really just been having a blast. I think as well as that, I love kind of the guitar work in this track as well. Really unique, really fun, really just, again, have that sort of mathy sort of vibe, but also at the same time, like, really just quintessential, like, post-hardcore sound. So love that. Really fun, really energetic, and yeah, another heat track. I really enjoyed it. Rob says, bro, I make that face every time, LOL. Yeah. Rob also commented on Jared's comment, which is just crowd killed my chihuahua. Oh my god. And they say, your poor dog, LOL, but worth. And then Rob also said, Jordan does our synth and electronics. He really is the 5th member. So salutes to Jordan. Kudos. Jordan's crushing it. But We are going to move it on to the next track, which is La Fin du Monte. Pretty sure I pronunciated that really terribly, so I hope that everybody roasts me in the live chat and also in the comments. So, just like every other time I do a review. So, we're gonna move on to track 9. Let's get into this. I'll give a little bit of extra here, so we'll play. A punk track? Alright. Getting really into it. Punk beat from Zord. Oh my god. My brain is breaking right now. Punk beat from Devin. Fuck. This one must be awesome live. Oh my god. What was that? What was that? I can't even. All right, well, at least Rob didn't roast me on this. So Ken is bilingual, French and English. So I don't expect most people to have a decent French. See, we don't. I know. Well, it was more of a joke, if anything. I'm not offended by it. I'm just, I don't know how to say shit, so I just like kind of roast. I like being self-deprecating. Oh, Jordan was screaming on this. Oh, that's tight. I love that. All right, guys, that was La Fin du Monte. I'm gonna say, I want to say I'm like decently close on that, like phonetically. So I don't know if I'm 100% right on that, but it is what it is. Whatever. But I really like this song. This one feels, it almost feels like old school, like I would say like first album Limbs. If you listen to Limbs, definitely reminds me a lot of that. Some Under Oath songs, definitely. It's kind of got that really kind of intense sort of punch to it. But I also like the kind of, again, the beefy sort of just like punk beat going on in this song. Really tight, really fun. And then, Spare the Saint. What do you mean, Spare the Saint? I don't know what the hell that means. You have to let me know, Rob. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I think that this one has that sort of, again, that sort of just fun post-hardcore bouncy, like this one just seems like it would go off so well live. It has that sort of vibe to it. So I think this one rips. And for being like a 2-minute song, I think that has just like, it just has that fun vibe to it. So can't expect anything less. But yeah, there isn't too much else to Oh, okay, it was the last. That makes sense. Okay. But that's really sick. I love that it's you, Jake, and Jordan. That's kind of wild. That's That's wild. I love that. Shout out to Jordan. He's crushing it too. The screams on point. I know he used to do some of that. I'd imagine from Secret and Whisper. So really sick to hear him on a song again. Obviously, I know he's in like Shreddy Krueger and all that sort of stuff. So I'm not unfamiliar with his work. Obviously, Secret and Whisper, but yeah, but yeah, this was so sick. Yeah, really enjoyed this one. Fun song. Track 10 we are going to move into, which is Terrible Fate. This one is I love that it is I love that this one is an homage to arguably one of my favorite video game series, Zelda, and I obviously know that they're a huge Zelda fan as well. So very cool. So let's get into Terrible Fate. I think it is. I'll cheers to it. Ooh, nice falsetto. Oh, big clock. All right, yeah. I got you, Jake. I love the separation of instruments on this track. Really tight. That bass, man. Lost. Oh. Oh, this is sick. Oh, this one was fantastic. All right, guys, that was track 10, Terrible Fate, off of the Burden's new album, Terminal. You can get it everywhere. If you are much like me and you like vinyl, you can pick up the vinyl as well. I been absolutely having a blast listening through to this entire record, and I also want to just thank the guys for coming to hang out in the chat as well too, because that's awesome. Love to see it. This song itself, a little bit more melodic, a little bit softer, but then it really kind of breaks out into its own thing towards the end of the song, which is really nice. Thing I really appreciated the most about this was, I've been talking a lot about Jake's musical journey as a vocalist and kind of like really upping his game, and I felt like this one felt like the culmination thus far of all of the musical abilities that he's had over the years. Love the falsetto. That was really nice. And I think as well as this song, there's just an emotiveness that is hard to really kind of put into words, but there's just something about this song that I feel like really tugged on me. I think it just has this way of just kind of enveloping that sort of sound. Like, I think Jake's melodies flow really well within the song and really kind of almost has this sort of like waving kind of like vibe to it. Like, it just feels like it flows throughout the song really well. And I also love the instrumentation of the song. I think that was really something that sold me pretty immediately about this song, was the fact that, there is this kind of way that you can easily distinct some of the like drumming parts very well. You can hear a lot of the bass lines as well, and then the guitars are kind of separated off very well, but it still feels very cohesive. I don't want you to feel like the song is like very odd or very different. I think that it still has those moments where it's very, very together, but also at the same point, I think you can really distinctly hear everything, and this was the first song where you could really pick out each individual person that's a part of this project, like, and from the guitars, the bass, the drumming, the vocals. There's just something about it that I really enjoyed that just kind of kept that sort of uniqueness. I also feel like there's a lot of similarities to that of Losing Your Exterior, keeping that sort of minor tonality, and just kind of keeping it very melodic. I think that this song does a very good job of extending those sorts of ideas, but also kind of taking them and running with them a little bit more so. So really enjoyed this one a lot. I would say this one is definitely a sleeper song. I think this one is one of my favorites, just because I like to hear the different vocal melodies that Jake has been able to kind of come up with. But this one I felt like was his strongest song yet. And most of it was singing. I think maybe the latter half of the song, maybe like 10 or 20% of the song really has some strong singing, screaming, I mean. And the majority of it was clean singing, which is really nice. Rob also says that this is the song that has falsetto in it. It's the first song that they've had falsetto in it. So really nice, and I think it was utilized perfectly. I don't think it was too much, but I don't think it was too little. So really kind of hit that Goldilocks zone for me on this song particularly. But yeah, I love this one a lot. Also, Jake, Ross, and Rob, let me know what your favorites are in the chat since you guys are still here. So love to know. But we're going to move it on to track 11, which is I Hope That When the World Comes to an End, I Can Breathe a Sigh of Relief, which I'll probably really breathe a sigh of relief once I'm able to open a window because it's fucking hot in my room. So we're going to get into the next song. I don't want my neighbors to get worried about me screaming. Oh, what? Don't lie, Jake. You don't hate all of them. I'm expecting real answers, alright? I was honestly expecting, Jake's rap career to take off in this song. Guess not. Where you got Neon NT to feature on this song. All right, guys, that was track 11. I hope that when the world comes to an end, I can breathe a sigh of relief. This one was very different. It has this kind of like trap sort of beat to it. I like that. This one was a vibe. I honestly thought, no lie, with listening to this, I legitimately thought that Neon Empty was gonna be doing a feature on this song. I'm not gonna front. I feel like you guys should remix it and have him feature on this song. That'd be kind of rad. I'm not gonna lie. That'd be awesome. Shout out to Neon Empty, my boy. I do not know about your rap side project, Rob. Is this actually a joke or not? I need to know. Jake says his favorite is Cassiar. If I'm pronunciating it wrong, Jake, I'm sorry. But he said it's on a personal level. He said, but also hurts. I feel that. I'm ready for you to break my soul. What else? Rob says losing your exterior is like a band fave. Even though we want to be heavier with each album, that would make sense. But that one's a great one. Bryce Rocky. Oh boy, I can't. Oh boy, I can't. Not good. Anyway, this one was unique. I think it works in the thought. I think it's so weird paired up with Terrible Fate because that's so melodic and it has a heavy moment. So it was a little interesting to have this song on it. So I'm curious. The guys could probably tell me why this song ended up on Terminal, but very interesting. Got kind of a bop. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like someone should remix it, like they should sample this song in a rap. I feel like that'd be kind of tight. And then Rob says it's real. We'll do it at the end of the stream to a rap song. No, I can't do that, man. That's for another time. I feel like when you guys come on to interview, we'll do it. But this one was definitely interesting. I don't, like I said, in the context of the album, it's definitely weird, so I'm sure there is some context clues that is a reason why this song is on the album, but I definitely feel like Terrible Fate is one that I'm just, I really feel like this one was definitely unique and almost slightly feels out of place, but is fun. It's a fun song. Rob said, our big, scary, jacked producer said, hey, I made this bass beat. And do you say no to Big Handsome Jordan? No. And then Ross said, Sparkle Motion, Losing Your Exterior, Terrible Fates are some of my favorites. I feel like Ross and I are in the same wavelength because I feel like those three are some of my favorites as well. But we'll get into our favorites at the end. We're almost there. So we're gonna move it on to track 12, which is Golden Grave. So let's give this one a listen. After that bass beat, we'll play a little bit more of it. Oh, never mind.
Just believe me, I just can't leave this alone. I'm not saving. How can you call it so home? Is this crazy? See, in the end, it's all about what you choose. So why is breathing so hard for you? It's that we take again. You can't take back the things that you never made. In the end, we'll let something.
This is a sick chorus. This is so sick. Yeah, the Fall Out Boy.
Please don't lure me on. Maybe we can pretend that time is right.
Oh, at the end of the song. Okay. All right, I'm gonna have that lead in a little bit, but guys, this was Golden Graves off of the Burden's new album Terminal. If you've been enjoying this, thank you for joining me. It's been fucking fantastic, but this one is super sick. I really like this one a lot too. I love Rob said good old 3/4 chorus at the end of the album. So tight. That was really unique. Really like that. And then just a comment on the song before. Just a comment before he said, "Why not screw it? Throw the whole bass beat on the album." They like to have fun. You guys do have fun. That's big facts. I loved. Yeah, Rob said in the end. That's great. Oh my god. But yeah, I really like this song a lot. It kind of reminded me, it kind of reminded me a lot of Counterparts in that way. You know, I think they have a unique way of, kind of having the sort of Oh, okay. It's gonna I'm gonna cry. You guys keep pumping this song up, this last one, and I feel like I'm actually gonna cry. So I'm just gonna cry. I'm excited to really be upset. That's the first time you'll ever hear me say that. But I think that Golden Graves has a unique way of keeping like kind of the rhythmic patterns interesting, and I think that's why I really loved the previous Counterparts albums and why I can kind of find very good similarities between this song Golden Graves as well as Counterparts, this new album Eulogy, for those still here. I think it has that sort of similarity in terms of not only like the musicality of it, but I would also say as well as that the heaviness of it too. So really like that combination of that. I think Jake also sounds really great on this song as well. Some of those really kind of ascending choruses are really nice within Golden Graves. So really enjoyed that particular portion of the song. And I think rhythmically it was just really fun. It doesn't feel like your standard sort of post-hardcore track, even though musically it really has that sort of vibe to it. Guitar work is fantastic as well. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this one. This one is a good one. I think this one super, super rad. And just, again, kind of a good culmination to, you know, some of the great songs on this album. I think it pulls a lot from those musical cues. So definitely, if you enjoyed like a large majority of this album, then Golden Graves is definitely going to be on that reasoning to check this one out. But guys, listen, we're getting into the last track 13, and I think this is called Cassiar. I am gonna, again, I butchered the name. If I did, I'm sorry. Jake said, gonna ruin you. Sorry. We'll all be crying with you. Ross said, time for the gold old Mortal Kombat. Finish him. Rob also said, listen to it 6 times, cried 6 times. Jake said, this is my sad as fuck song that Rob refuses to play. This is it's just actually I feel like you guys are obviously like saying this, but if I'm actually gonna cry, I'm gonna be so fucking upset. So we're gonna move it into the last track. Uh, uh, Cassiar. This is the last track. It is 5 minutes and 5 seconds. So I hope y'all are ready to cry because this motherfucker, we're taking her down. So let's get it.
I heard your body's giving up.
Oh no.
It's getting harder to breathe. You've been fighting for decades now. It's showing its teeth. No time is ever enough. Each silver and gold. A 12-hour drive beats goodbyes over the phone. They say it gets easier, but still, I just don't think it will. Oh, it's not about the time it takes, or these promises you'll never break. A lifetime of memories, all those people you love. And I know that it's tough. I hear your body's giving up.
Oh my god.
I want you all the way here. First time we
Why?
met. Then I'd start crying. You know, I said, yeah. How much did we drink that night? Then we're pissed and we're gonna go and serve breakfast fishing for dried grass. Yeah. They wouldn't let us in, yes.
I heard you losing the fight. It's getting harder to sleep. These uncomfortable beds tied to all these machines. I took advantage of time, just hearing you speak. Your skin's getting pale, and your voice is so weak. It must be hard to talk about the things you know you'll never see. Still, you listen to me. It's not about the time it takes, or these promises you'll never break. A lifetime of memories, those people you love. I know that it's tough. I know. They say it's not about the breath you take, but the times that take your breath away. Time is
God,
never enough. Life is calling you bluff, and I know that it's tough. I heard your body's giving up.
I love you to pieces.
God, fuck, man.
The boys made it home safe.
Yes, they're home.
That's good.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for welcoming me into your family, giving me a beautiful daughter.
it's tough.
Okay.
We'll see you tomorrow. You take care.
Oh, yeah.
Have a good sleep, Papa.
Man. Oh. I didn't think I'd actually do it, but this is not a bit at all. Man, that's oh. Oh man, that's rough. Oh. I don't I mean, I feel like I said this in the um I feel like I said this in the Prada review, but oh man. I think you know, obviously, I don't know Jake's I know you guys are making light of this, which I do appreciate, but obviously I don't know Jake's grandfather, but to I guess very similarly to how I felt with to kind of comment on the post I made about or at least the comments that I made in the review for the Prada song, which Cancer was the other song that kind of got me last year. And this one is obviously not any easier of a song to listen to either, but I think it just gives me a lot of reasonings as to why this type of music just kind of hits you in some profound way. Like, even though I don't know, I think the fact that obviously I don't, I lost my aunt last year, and I think that was tough, and I don't think you really realize how some of these songs can kind of affect you in that way. And with this song, I feel like that's, very similarly to Cancer. I think this one, especially, I think because of the like the voice memos and stuff like that within the song, just kind of add that sort of weight to it. I think it just adds this sort of level of emotion that I feel like with the type of music that this, genre really does well, is that, it really is able for you to kind of connect to these songs that much more. And I genuinely felt that after listening to Cancer, that me moving on from that was kind of, cathartic in that way. And I felt like this is another way for me to kind of experience that sort of feeling of loss, but obviously in a different way. And, obviously I know my grandparents are getting old, and, they're inevitably going to pass away. And so I feel like that kind of, I feel like this song is going to resonate more with me, or if you've, lost someone, within the past year or so. I do feel like this song has this way of hitting you in that sort of way. And I really applaud bands that really kind of pour themselves out in that way, because very easily, you could leave this song off the album, right? But I think for this album to end in such a way like this, really hits home. And I imagine for a lot of people that have experienced that sort of loss, I think this song is going to hurt. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it at all. But I also feel like it's a way for you to come to terms with it. So I think that despite it being upsetting in some ways, I also feel like it's very cathartic. And so, I gotta applaud the burden and and obviously Jake's family for doing this, because I think it's it's not an easy thing to write about, and I also think musically it's a hard topic to touch, and I think they did a very good job of not only paying homage to Jake's grandfather, but I also feel like they did a great homage to people that you lose in your life and that you still have a lot of love for, and I think that it's almost like a memory in some way. You're going to remember this song, and despite it hurting, I feel like it's a good way to know that this is going to be just implanted in this album forever. And yeah, I feel they weren't kidding about how wrecked you feel after this album, because my god, I'm about as wrecked as you'll ever see me here. But I really love this song, and I think it is a perfect homage to your grandfather, Jake. So you should be really proud of that. I I really don't have anything else to say about this album. It's emotive, it's powerful, and I think that is in every way, shape, and form that much more of a step up from Sinking Feeling, and I've really loved that album. I know I keep gassing it up, but I legitimately listen to that. I legitimately listen to that album a lot, and this album I know I will go back and listen to that much more times, if not more. It really, I had a high hopes that this album was going to be pretty close to my favorites from this year, but it really just crushed it, and everything about this album from start to finish is just really great. I think it's aggressive where it needs to be. It's empathetic where it needs to be. It's it's sad. It's happy. It's really got the full gambit of emotion, and just to see this band grow over the years, this feels this feels like the peak moment for them, and I honestly hope that people really do go and check this album out. I did not cry for this reason just because I'm streaming this. I legitimately probably would have cried in silence if I listened to this song. But this is, I can't even put this album into words. It's very similarly to how I felt with Heavener, but I feel like that is just a technical masterpiece, and I feel like this one is pretty damn close to an emotional masterpiece. Like there's just something about it that musically it just is really interesting, really fun, but also at the same time it's just something that I feel like I can dive more into from just a lyrical perspective. And obviously I feel like every time Cassier is gonna come on, I'm just gonna be a wreck, but I think it's well worth it, and I think it allows you to tap into those sorts of feelings. I am a complete wreck. I again, I'm normally not this fucked up, but I can't. Shit, I'm lost right now. But yeah, this is great. I think Cassiar I can't even put on a list just because it is that insane of a song. But if I had to pick my favorites from Terminal, I would probably say the ones that I enjoyed the most were Stardust Oblivion, Losing Your Exterior, Sparkle Motion, Spark Notes Eulogy, and then I'd probably say Terrible Fate are my top 5, I would say, off this album. I really suggest listening to this front to back. And if you are going to listen to that last song, you need to have those tissues at the ready, man. I'll tell you what. Because I look like I
just got hit by a truck. So I am so excited to see what this band's gonna do next, and I'm so glad I was able to experience this live with all of you. So thank you for joining me. If you did, I hope that me crying and nasally muddling through this this end bit, I hope inspires you to go give this album a listen, despite how hard it might be. It's well worth the journey. Trust me. I did it live, so I would know. Rob says a couple things. He says, actually, I'll go back. Jake said, Rob just texted our band chat saying he hates me. He said, it hurts all of us for real. Everyone has a grandfather, hits everyone, and Jake's dad is just like a typical dad. Heading him upset is just wrecks me. It's not a joke. I cry every time. You can feel the emotion in that song, and the voice memos. It really reminds me of what's important every time I hear it. Jake said Ross and I are crying in the nursery. Means a lot. You love the record. I know how much Sinking Feeling meant to you. Yeah, I genuinely love that album, and I know that this is going to be an instant classic for me. So please, if my crying was not enough, please go check The Burden out. I will leave all the applicable links to go pick up the album. Please go support these guys. I legitimately don't believe these guys have been my friends for such a long period of time, and I really feel like they deserve all the love and support that they get, and I genuinely hope that even if you don't pick the album up, I hope you listen to it. I hope you stream it. I hope you really give it some love, because it's well deserved, and I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't feel like I wanted to show this band to all of my fans, because I think they crush it, and I legitimately hope that everybody feels, at least by the end of it, can get what this band is about. Even if maybe you may not feel that emotional connection to the last song like I have, I genuinely hope that you go through this album and experience the journey from front to back. I know a lot of times bands don't really, I feel like we're in that age where you listen to singles and that's really kind of it, and you move on. This is really meant to be listened to front to back, from track 1 to track 13. Really give it that love, give it that support, because it's well deserved. But please go check The Burden out. I imagine they will be coming back on at some point after my soul has been restored at some point. At some point, I have to make some sort of joke, otherwise I'm going to be depressed for the rest of the night. But I genuinely love this album. I know for a fact this is going to end up with my favorites of this year, without a doubt. I don't have any doubt in my mind. So please go check out The Burden. Like I said, I want to actually, I'll do it here now. So I'll be right back, guys. Can't see anything because I'm crying so much. No, that's not it. That's Boston. Okay, here we go. Guys, this is their formative album. I don't know if this is the one that I'm giving away, so I'm sorry if this is not. Nope, this is not it. This is my copy, but I do have another copy of this. If you comment down below, let me know what your favorite songs are, and then also drop your Instagram handle. I will be giving away this. I have one other copy that I want to give away. So, Jared. Rob's votes for Jared. Jake, what's your vote? I feel like I gotta go with Rob's pick here too. Jared, I think, deserves it. So he was really vibing out. I don't think Jared's still here, but if he is, that'd be sick. Then he watched me ugly crying on live. God, you guys destroyed me. This is not the interview, Jake. Come on. I don't like that. All right. Well, Rob says to give it to Jared. All right. Jake says Jared too. So, Jared, I'm gonna DM you. I'm already friends with you on Facebook, so I'll DM you this. You're gonna not get this specific album, but I'm gonna get your address and mail this out to you. So, because I have another album to give away and I haven't given it. So, I was trying to give it away in the reaction video, but nobody took the bait. So it is what it is. So Jared, you get it. Congratulations. But seriously, please go pick up Terminal. They have it out on CD, vinyl. They have a bunch of merch. I'm definitely gonna go pick a shirt up. I've already picked the vinyl up. So please go support these guys. And yes, Rob. Come on, guys. We gotta do another interview. But seriously, please go check The Burden out. If this is any indicator on how powerful their music is, then I don't know what else to tell you, man. I cried. I literally wept. That's all I'm saying. So I feel like if you can make me cry, then you got a really powerful band. And again, I've just had the fortune and privilege to really find out about this band. Really fall in love with their music and become very good friends with all of them and over the years. So I really treasure that, and it's really a blessing to me to just, again, see this band grow and see their potential as artists. So I absolutely love that. I'm so glad that they signed to Open Your Ears Records and that other people can see that sort of spark that I see. No pun intended. So I love that, and I'm so excited to see what's next. You already know that anything that Burden does, it's gonna be on here. That's without a doubt. I really pride myself on showing love to the people that show me love first, and I always know the Burden guys have me. So I love that. So please go check out the Burden. I don't know how much more I can show for this band, but they really do rock, so please go give them some love. But thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna go sulk or something. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm okay now. But yeah, that last song is an absolute train wreck. So, like I said, get the tissues ready. But thank you guys for watching. I will be doing some live stuff, so I hope that all of you. I hope that some of you will come see some more live videos. I have a couple more albums I'm going to be doing maybe this weekend, but yeah, this one was top priority for me to review. So thank you guys for watching. Love all of you. Please go support The Burden. I love them, so you should love them too. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. I will not be crying in that video, so rest assured. This was not a one-time thing, but this in this video. So love all of you so much. Go give someone a hug. Okay, cool.